Irreversible Damage by Abigail Shrier was borderline prophetic, as she saw the dangers coming from the movement that would encourage our youth to embrace transgender medications and surgeries. And she was seeing this coming long before most people in America were even aware that this was being taught in educational institutions and that people were saying that men could have periods. So when I saw her latest book, Bad Therapy by Sentinel Books, I had to give this a read. Bad Therapy looks at the impacts that the postmodern health industry is having upon our children, and how even though parents might not be dropping insane amounts of money to pay for therapy for their children, their kids may be getting that therapy and more than they realize from their own schools. And that therapy is causing far more harm than good. We should not blame those in college today and those in the ages below for many of the problems that are going on in their lives, because those children have just been following the counseling and therapy that has been ruining their ability to mature and think clearly. If we want our kids to develop into strong, capable adults, we need to change the way that we're currently raising them. And that's the argument made in Bad Therapy. Bad Therapy was engaging, well-written, filled with many short interviews and stories, and I would think that the vast majority of parents and even grandparents who start this book won't be able to put it down until they reach the end. So if you have a few minutes, I would like to tell you about what I took away from Bad Therapy. Welcome to Rev Reads. If you want to discover more books that will help you to be confident as a parent, please subscribe to the channel in order to stay up to date with my most current reviews. And also, please share this video with others so that they can know about Bad Therapy. Bad Therapy is broken up into 3 parts. The first part of this book is impressing upon the reader that there are genuine dangers with therapy. Her lesson is simple. Any medical intervention that is powerful enough to help is also strong enough to hurt. And before any child is brought before a therapist, a parent should weigh the potential negative side effects and look for options to help that aren't as serious as therapy. She looks at why therapy is more of a danger for children and young adults than it is for those who are already established in life. And then Shrier provides a long treatment on all the bad therapy practices that are common among our youth today. For instance, bad therapy is a therapy that both makes happiness the end goal and also rewards emotional suffering throughout treatment. And that's a dangerous combination that creates instability among children. Another is when youth are encouraged to spend an inordinate amount of time ruminating upon themselves and their struggles, because focusing on self leads to depression and anxiety. So to encourage our kids to sit around and think about all their struggles in life will only increase their anxiety. Bad therapy increases the likelihood of medical interventions and harmful drugs that will change the chemical balance of our children. And a final example, bad therapy will encourage children and teens to cut themselves off from their other family members. So make sure that you know the signs of bad therapy if you are ever going to entrust your child to a therapist, and then end the sessions if it appears that they are doing more harm than good in the practice. The middle section of the book is called Therapy Goes Airborne, and these chapters focus on how bad therapeutic practices are now being introduced into all aspects of life in our public schools and universities. So what this means is that you don't need to send your child to a therapist to instead in the schools have social emotional learning bring that harmful impact upon your kids. We need to be on the watch about school counselors who are using their roles to destroy families and to drive kids into anxiety and medications. Now, there are certainly some wonderful school counselors out there, without a doubt, but we should not blind ourselves to the dangers that those counselors can pose. And Shrier ends this section with a warning on how gentle parenting is causing harmful emotional and psychological effects on kids. Children who need strong leadership and guidance in their formative years, and why the rod might just be a better tool for the parent to help their children to develop than any drug that is available on the market right now. In the end, I think bad therapy is driving home one primary lesson that I really wish every single parent could take away from this book. And that is, all parents need to be more confident as parents. The reason that parents need confidence is that children need that confidence and stability in those who are leading their homes. The worst thing that can happen for any child is to be placed in a situation where the child ends up needing to direct the parents. And a lot of gentle parenting techniques and what kids bring home from therapy causes children to move into the driver's seat at home, which is both ruinous to parents and children. Why do many parents fall into the trap of sending perfectly healthy children to therapists and putting kids who have no physical problems on antipsychotics? It is because the parents have lost their confidence in their ability to lead their children, discipline their children, and direct their lives. So I encourage you to be a confident parent. And if you find that a class or a teacher at school is involved with lessons that are questioning and causing your kids to doubt the parenting choices at home, call them out on that, because they are bringing division and chaos into your home. And that division and chaos will, more than anything else, cause mental instability for your children. The best environment to raise kids is a secure environment, one where kids can know that if they take risks, if they get hurt, their parents will pick them up, dust them off, and push them back out there. And it's also where kids can know that if they're out in the world and if a friend mocks their teeth or shames their weight, when they come home, their parents will love them and build them up. And a child cannot have a secure home if a child's parent is failing to be confident in their parenting and the direction that they're providing for their kids. A lot of the dangers that are listed by Shrier in this book when it comes to bad therapy can be avoided if parents will just be confident in how they're raising their kids. And I believe God has equipped all of us to raise our children. And so we should raise our children from a place of confidence and strength, especially for those who are believers in Jesus Christ. But I believe bad therapy can serve as a helpful tool, one, to let parents know what to look out for when it comes to bad practices by therapists that could potentially be put on our children in these very crucial developmental years. And this book also helps to provide parents with the confidence and the courage to raise their children in a society that is constantly saying that the so-called experts can do it better. But the truth is, no one can raise your children better than you, so don't give in to the fears of bad therapy. Instead, have confidence in how you raise your children.